Let's take you all the way back to the beginning of this game because the Knicks suddenly found themselves down by 16 points, and one of the big reasons why they weren't protecting the basket. Nick Young was one of those who took the ball inside. He was also hitting from the outside, and John Wall did his best to take the ball to the basket. That's a major problem in this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the problem for the last couple of games now, and it was once Shumpert got into the game, that's, I think, when John Wall was getting stopped going in. But Nick Young, he's a good shooter, and he's another guy that if you let him get going, he'll get hot, kicks it out from Wall. Wall penetrating, kicks it out. That's the inside-outside game that they had going.
Well, the Wizards were all about John Wall and Nick Young in that first quarter. These two guys combined 10 of 14. They had 22 of the Wizards' first quarter points, and you thought it was going to be a long evening for the Knicks, but they were able to solve some things in that second quarter, particularly Shumpert coming in the ball game.
Yeah, and one of the players that helped the Knicks solve that 16-point deficit was Carmelo Anthony, Allen.
Yeah, and again, this is your scorer. This is the guy that you have that's going to get you your points. I think Amari, even though he put up some decent numbers, he's still struggling, I think, offensively. But once they got Carmelo going, they got him against the rookie, Chris Singleton. The one-on-one, they ISO'd a lot. This wasn't typical 7 seconds or less, but it definitely worked.
Carmelo Anthony, a huge second quarter, Alan, as you mentioned, got him involved a little bit. A lot of post-ups. We saw the two-man game with Amari Stoudemire as the passer inside to Melo. And you really thought because Melo was carrying such a load, they had to continually go to him. 33 field goal attempts on the night to get his 37 points.
Right.
But I'm telling you, you had to go to him because there was nobody else really scoring the basketball, and Melo had it going inside and outside. The reason why the Knicks won this game was because of Melo.
Amazing they didn't double-team him either. I couldn't believe it.
1 point game at halftime, and the Knicks and the Wizards in the third quarter traded and went back-to-back. There were times, and, you know, we really are suspect with the Wizards. Rashard Lewis for $21 million, he doesn't care. He really doesn't. And it seems as though a lot of the other players don't mesh at all, but they would not go away. And I wonder how much of that was the Wizards coming on and the Knicks letting them a little bit at times in the third quarter.
I think you're right, Al. You hit it right on the head. It was a combination of the two. The fact that the Wizards looked like they were about to give up, but then all of a sudden they start getting hot. And watch this play here. This is what I'm talking about. That's Rashard Lewis.
Where's he going?
He doesn't even run back into the play for $21 million. I tell you, I would have taken him out of the game right at that moment. He actually lasted 2 more plays before they took him out. Right. That's an embarrassment, not only to his team, the fans who come, but also to the NBA.
Yeah, $21 million. It's the final year of his contract.
And Alan, this is the Wizards getting back in the ball game. Yeah. They could not stop the Knicks. John Wall going coast to coast. They were not cutting off his angles. Here's a guy who can't shoot the ball very well. But I tell you one thing he does do. He puts on those afterburners, and he gets to the hole with ease.
Off of makes and misses quick. And you know what? The biggest difference I saw was when Tony Douglas went back to the came into the game, and Shumpert went back to the bench. That's when Wall started getting penetration again, and I think that was the biggest difference.
A little more size on him. He
it.
was a little physical with him. It's a good point.
Yeah, but he went right at Tony Douglas.
Well, let's get to the fourth quarter now. Again, it seemed as though the Knicks were going to seal the deal, but the Wizards came back again, and it was about managing crunch time. Pick this up with about 3:40 to go. Are you kidding me?
Off the glass and one.
You know, he's strong upper body. He got stronger over the summer. And now, just coming down to the end of this ball game, it was all about trading baskets, whether it was Nick Young knocking down a big three, Andre Blatch getting involved as well. Inside, he had his moments as well. The Knicks weren't getting stops, but on the offensive end, they had Melo. Whenever they needed a bucket,
again, no double
they
team.
were able to get to Melo. Big block from JaVale McGee. And this was the play where Mike Bibby ends up making a huge play. Well, he ends up getting down the floor and fouling JaVale McGee, who ends up missing 2 free throws. John Wall with another coast-to-coast roll to the basket. Very excited, but Melo ends up hitting the big shot. A 3, hits the face of Singleton. I think he paused for a moment.
And he stops. He puts his hand on his face instead of fighting through the screen.
You can't do that in the middle of the play.
Worry about your nose after the game.
And then the last play by the Wizards. John Wall's not the guy you want to shoot the three-point shot. Give the Knicks credit. They left them open. He took it. Singleton, not wary of the clock, takes the shot too soon with about 4 seconds. And this was their last opportunity. Close, but not close enough, and the Knicks survived.
All right, so, ardent Knicks fans, who would you rather have off of this game, Singleton or Shumpert? Singleton with the missed dunk and high-fiving everybody after the miss. Singleton not knowing how much time was on the clock and hoisting up a shot that wouldn't have really mattered.
Yeah, I mean, Singleton showed you a lot of good things, but that was another key play where you said, Al, that he missed the dunk, took off too soon, and a little casual. But you can see what he brings to the Wizards. You know, if there's much to bring to the Wizards as far as his defensive ability, he knocked down some threes, some hustle plays, so he did some good things.
Well, now we get to the Tony Douglas factor. It really looked as though his confidence took a hit in this game. Second half, he came back. Lasted about a minute. Mike D'Antoni took him right out. And in his place, or into the lineup for some playing time, was Mike Bibby, who hit some huge shots and again made that play that he keeps bringing up with the free throws.
Yeah, the corner three. Mike D'Antoni looks for somebody to hit that corner three. And I think the important thing was that he got in and got some confidence. He's a veteran. You have Shumpert back there in the backcourt. You need that veteran out there to kind of balance it. Bibby finally started getting the touch back. He was shooting so poorly to start the season, but we all know that's the one thing he still can do is hit the shot. Knocks it down, stretched out the defense. There it is one more time. Then he takes the dribble, knocks it down again, and he's feeling good about himself.